Hi, I'm Ann Sheffer. I'm Coordinator of Secondary Educational Services at Dover Area School District. Welcome to my classroom. Today we're going to see a Socratic discussion on the Scarlet Letter and the Minister's Black Veil, focusing on literature of Nathaniel Hawthorne, and do a little analysis of author's purpose and why Hawthorne wrote these pieces. Hawthorne is listed on the text exemplars for the PA Common Core. It is rich literature, it's deep, it provokes thought from the students, and it really gives them an opportunity to dig deeply and to think about theme and symbolism, author's purpose, just very rich literature. In preparing for Socratic Seminar, there are several things to consider, such as room preparation, getting the desks in order. I like them to have highlighters and markers, having your duplication ready, whether that be a piece of artwork, a piece of literature, a piece of nonfiction, poetry, to make sure that when the students come in, they are ready to be engaged in the seminar and to really give it their all. Good morning, class.
Good morning.
Please get out all of your materials for today's seminar. You will need your copy of the Scarlet Letter, your copy of the Minister's Black Veil. You also have on your desk your cold read for today, which will be 2 excerpts from some criticism on those 2 pieces. You also have out your seminar reflection piece. My goal for the class today is for them to engage in the text, to have thematic and symbolic comparison between literary selections, and to also incorporate 2 cold reads with literary criticism so that they can really understand the purpose for this novel and for the short story. If you would please pull out your seminar participant reflection sheet. Today we will be looking at the Scarlet Letter and the Minister's Black Veil. And as with all seminars, I would like to go over the rules with you. A Paideia seminar is a collaborative intellectual dialogue about a text facilitated with open-ended questions. As the seminar facilitator, I am primarily responsible for asking challenging, open-ended questions, and I will take a variety of notes to keep up with the talk turns and flow of ideas. You do not need to raise your hand in order to speak. Rather, you try to stay focused on the main speaker and wait your turn. I learned early on that when the students are learning the process as they're becoming comfortable with Socratic Seminar, that maybe it's okay to start with a slightly easier text so that they feel comfortable in the process. I would like you please to look at the bottom part of the paper, the personal participation goals, and today I would like you to choose 1 from the developing list and 1 from the advanced list that will be your goals for today. You need to take some time to build a community in your classroom with the students, their comfort with me, and so that we feel that we can discuss openly and at the same time respect one another's opinions. I would also like to set a class goal today, and that goal would be for you to make sure that you are citing textual evidence when you state your opinion. So I would like to have a quote, a page number, a line, something to back up what you're saying when you make a point. And I always like to have a cold read so that they have something new to compare the text with. It helps them to see something fresh and to be able to discuss it with a group. On your desk, you are going to find your cold read. If you would pull that out, please. You are going to see Flaws in the Scarlet Letter and 3 masterpieces in Twice Told Tales. I push for my students' active reading where they question the text, they interact with the text. I know that these are only excerpts, but would you number the 2 paragraphs, keeping the excerpt from the novel in paragraph 1? So if you look at me, you're going to have 1 and then 2 over here. I think it's very important that the students are constantly questioning the text. What I would like you to do, please, using Post-its, flags, highlighters, read these 2 excerpts, taking notes as necessary, highlighting as necessary, anything that you feel is important, intriguing, insightful. Making sure that they're always pulling that text back into our discussion to support their opinions and their ideas. Referencing Flaws in the Scarlet Letter, if you would please, on your whiteboard, place the line, the phrase, a quote that you find most intriguing, most valuable, as far as talking about too much symbolism in the Scarlet Letter. As always, I would like to start this seminar with a round robin. So one of the things I do is to map the Socratic Seminar. What I like to do is put in their quotes for their round robin to get the conversation started, and then this helps me pace the conversation and see who is participating. And it's good for the post-reflection and for their writing piece afterwards, and also to help me with grading of the seminar. So what I would like you to do, please, is to share the quote, the comment, the thought that you have on your whiteboard. But remember, please, no elaboration. And I believe we will start with Haley.
Okay, my quote is, "It ceases to be impressive," paragraph 1.
In paragraph 2, we feel that he goes too far and is in danger of crossing the line that separates the sublime from its intimate neighbor.
What makes a good question is something that the students must think deeply about, that they really have to ponder and support what they're saying by quoting a page, a passage, a line. All right, well, I'm looking around and I see that a lot of you focused on one quote in particular. So after we complete the round robin, I will choose a quote that a lot of students have focused on, and we will start our discussion on the selected pieces. We're going to go to paragraph 1, and just to give you a visual, if you look here, it is the line that I have starred in purple. The quote was, "Hawthorne returns to it constantly, plays with it and seems charmed by it, until at last the reader feels tempted to declare that his enjoyment of it is puerile or childish." Amanda, why did you choose that quote?
I picked this quote because I don't necessarily agree with it. He's using this symbol to convey a meaning.
I agree. At the beginning of Custom House, when you feel him put the A on his chest, he has a burning sensation, and you can feel the pain that Hester and Denzel feel.
I just feel like it's getting to the point where the symbols become cheesy.
I disagree with what Bailey said, and I more agree with what Ryan said, that the amount of symbolism allows you to understand how each character is all connected.
The questioning that I come up with really is focused on the students digging deeply into the text, asking the students to think about comparing text, to think about theme, symbolism. What parallels do you see, and is the minister's black veil just a mini version of the Scarlet Letter?
In paragraph 6, it clearly states that Mr. Hooper had on a black veil. I kind of related that to the Scarlet Letter because they're both some sort of clothing that they wear.
Sometimes I have 5 questions prepared. Sometimes I use 1. It's always good to overplan that and to have more questions than not enough, but definitely let the students take the lead. As we're talking about the symbols in the 2 pieces, we're noticing the ambiguity of the symbols. The A is adultery, the A is able, the A is angel. So what does that mean? Sometimes in Socratic Seminar, students are reticent, they're hesitant to answer a question. It could be that the question is complex, or they just need a little more time to think. Do a think, pair, share, work with the person beside you, talk through the symbols, think about it, discuss it. And so one technique that is really useful is think, pair, share, where a student can turn to a partner and discuss the question and the text and kind of come to a conclusion together and then share out together.
We think that the A in the sky doesn't represent angel like people are thinking it was.
Like it's showing his underlying guilt is still there, and that's how he perceives the A.
The A had to change to fit all of the symbols if he was gonna make them connect.
We kind of thought that it changes by the way the Puritan people change.
They're making excuses for their ministers because they're honorable men and see them higher than everyone else that they can't sin.
Okay, excellent. Great insight, good partner work, and we will move on then to our last question. Another technique that I like to use with classes is called My 2 cents, and you simply need 2 pennies per student, and this helps with students who are hesitant to speak and also those who like to speak all of the time. Those of you who have both pennies off your mat, you are silent until everyone has both pennies removed. Those of you with 2, it's your turn to jump in and speak up. The final question that I'm going to use will be an essential question. It will be an overarching question that will encompass all of the literature that we're reading, including fiction and nonfiction, to really get the students to think deeply and to pull the pieces together. Overall, what do you think Hawthorne's purpose was for writing both of these pieces, both the Scarlet Letter and the Minister's Black Veil?
I believe that Hawthorne's purpose in writing the Scarlet Letter and also the minister's black veil was to convey his own sin and guilt for his family.
He had rather harsh ancestors who were supposed to be godly and high in the church, yet they did things like scorn people in public.
The author's purpose is clearly Puritan hypocrisy and the simplicity that they were supposed to live.
Thank you for your focused and thoughtful participation in our seminar. As part of the post-seminar process, please review the goal you set for yourself and reflect in writing to what extent you met the goal. We know that goal setting is important with Socratic Seminar, so this gives them the opportunity to go back and to see if they did in fact meet their goals and to maybe start pondering goals for the next seminar. We're going to use the fishbowl and I will choose some names and just tell me how you think you did today as far as setting your goals and did you meet your goals. How about Bailey?
My advanced goal was to refer to the text, and I used quotes from pieces to back up my comments, so I feel like I accomplished that goal.
And finally, let's finish up the day with Summer.
My goals were to refer to the text and look at the speaker, and I think I did that because I paid attention each time someone was talking.
Writing is always an important way to finish up a Socratic discussion. Since we talked a lot about symbolism today, I thought we might talk about it more in a modern context. What symbol would represent modern America in your eyes and why? It permits the students to reflect on our discussion, to dig a little more deeply into their own thoughts and what others have said. Make sure that you reference at least 2 other symbols that we have discussed this semester. Don't forget we're focusing on allegory, which is a symbolic fictional narrative that conveys a secondary meaning, and parable, a story illustrating a moral or lesson as you are drafting your notes for your essay. It could be an essay, it could be a journal entry. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could break out into your small groups, taking with you the writing prompt and all of your materials, you might want to grab your Post-its and your highlighters as well for some pre-writing. And I like to hear them batting ideas around and try to provide some feedback, making sure that they're pulling specific examples from the text to back up what they say. For tomorrow, you need to have your essay for me completed, parenthetically cited. I've seen very positive outcomes with using Socratic Seminar. The quiet students find a voice, and actually I've had many students ask to not deconstruct the circle after a seminar just because of the comfort it gives them and the voice I think it gives them as well.
Socratic Seminar.
I've been teaching English for 24 years, and I find Socratic Seminar useful because it lets the students explore their own thoughts. It hits every standard, and this is a great way to really engage your students deeply in what they're reading and what they're discussing.
The Socratic Seminar is different from just a regular class or other classes because it is a little bit more formal. I am one of those shy people in class. We all seem to get along together. Even if we do disagree, we can disagree respectfully.
I like using the whiteboards because that's where you get to see everyone's ideas. I tend to have a strong opinion on things, so I had to take a step back and be open to everyone's ideas.
I love this class. I've never been the best at English, and this class just changed me. I think it helped me with the Keystone exam because it really showed me how to interpret text and just to be open-minded.
I would say put your 2 cents in, share your ideas. I would tell students to definitely try to participate as much as you can because it's a huge learning experience and it's really fun. I had a great time doing it.
Socratic Seminar.
When I reflect on today's Socratic Seminar, I feel that the students always amaze me, bringing up new ideas that I had not considered and really working with one another. If it had just been me questioning them, some of those great thoughts would have never come out. Our next steps would be to continue the conversation we had, share out some of their reflections, share out some of their writing that they're doing for tomorrow, and to encourage them to continue to make connections to additional readings for the rest of the year. Assessing a Socratic Seminar, I will use my map to see that everyone has participated. I will use their written piece as well. Even though we finish a unit, I want them to continue pondering it and seeing how one text connects to another, how it connects to history, math, science. I want that to become a habit for them. Some scaffolds I provide to help students be successful in Socratic Seminar are providing background vocabulary that they may be unfamiliar with, background information on the authors that we're studying, the time period in which the literature was written. We may also read some more complex texts together. There's not one part of the Socratic discussion that does not align to our PA Common Core. They are reading, they are interacting with text, fiction and nonfiction, they're speaking, they're listening, and they're always writing at the end of a seminar. Once you realize that their opinions are deep and they're valid and they have a voice and something to say, and you're willing to relinquish a little bit of that control, then you find Socratic discussion phenomenal for the students. It prepares them for every class. Socratic Seminar.